Yo, Tony D back, feeling good, feeling mega. I'll call this like a second part to the previous video where I was doing an expose on the backstories in The Flash. Those stories and that one featured Dr. Fate. They also would do Firestorm, the Nuclear Man. I really dug Firestorm back when he was in this iteration. But the topic is, I think backstories are a lost art form, really. I remember having these Flash books, and when they did the Firestorm ones, the book wasn't too bad, but the Dr. Fate ones, that book was suffering. But I really don't see backstories anymore that really catch my eye. They still do them. After I did the first video, I started to think about it, and I think I saw some in Joker. I don't know, I can highlight him a little bit. But yeah, George Perez on pencils. And Romeo Tanghal, Arthur, Gerry Conway. He's a good writer. They're bringing it on this. But yeah, Perez, come on, man. What you going to do? So these Firestorm stories, I could reread them over and over. But there was a particular villain, actually two, that I thought were very interesting to me in the Firestorm world. It's great artwork. God, what was it? Multiplex? I always thought that was an interesting character. And the Hyena. The Hyena's in one of these. We'll get to her. I'm not really getting into the writing. I'm not reviewing. I'm just like going, we're just flipping through, looking at some artwork. That's really cool in the shadows. And are there any backstories that you know of? I think they were really more of a thing back in the Silver Age, maybe. This is a modern book, but these stories I would just reread them and reread them. That's when you're on to something, like you have something good. So Flash 290. And they would always, I love how they do the concluding a super shocker or the secret origin of the Nuclear Man. A secret, I gotta have it. But these books, I actually collect these Flash books with the stories in the back. I think I'm almost done, actually. You got Perez on pencils. You can't beat that. It's almost the warm-up band for a regular band, just stealing the show. That's what these were doing. So this is just an origin. That's a great thing for a backstory. Let's talk about it. What's the backstory for? Like, of course, they're trying to sell comics. This is really great. What are all the purposes of a backup story? To kickstart a character into a main book? Is it just giving you, the reader, just a little extra something? I doubt that. I really think they were just test beds to see if characters could have their own book. Let me know if you're a historian into that. I'd love to hear from you. So yeah, we got Killer Frost, the Hyena. And you'd always, Justice League. Rest in peace, George Perez. That dude, he was fantastic. Yeah, the Nuclear Man, I always thought he's way too powerful. You just change anything into anything. They've always done a good job. But yeah, I totally dig these backstories in these Flash books. 291. Could have swore I had one with a Hyena. But yeah, like you had 9 pages. Like you didn't have a whole lot of wiggle room. But I really think it was to see if a character could hold that. But how would they know that? How would you gauge that? You can't really gauge it by sales because somebody is buying the book for the character on the cover. Maybe they would go by mail that people would send in back in the day. You can totally tell Perez is doing pencils. You got 9 pages. There's not a whole lot of action in this one, and then bam! Totally dig that. Firestorm. The Molecular Man. He had some good villains. I thought, oh, there it is. The Hyena. And I believe it's a female that's the actual character, but with the laugh, you get that Joker-esque feel. And that's a pretty powerful villain for a werewolf type character. Yeah, here we go. This is what I was digging. The whole laughing. Maybe there was something about that really drew me to that character. I don't know why. What is it that draws you to a character or a villain? It's really the villain that I'm drawn to. For some reason, Maybe that's just, I don't know, personal preference with some people. And it's funny, he's calling it a guy, but it's a chick. So, yeah, that opens up another possible topic is what draws you to a villain? Are you more drawn to the villain or the heroes? For me, I think it's the villains. That's a big thing with DC. Me and Dan at the local comic shop were talking about it. And DC really has a great rogues gallery for you just talking the Flash, all those villains. Batman, that's another big example. If you don't have a good rogues gallery, you're going to have a hard time having a good book. Yeah. I hope you guys are enjoying this little trip. Just a flip through. Everything ain't got to be serious. Comics are fun. There was just something about these backstories as a kid. Totally dug it. I think I felt that way. Once I think about it, I was getting a little bit more because if you really want to get into it, your imagination is getting more. And I don't think the writers of these books even think about that, but it's really a better deal for your imagination and you stretch your imagination and you have more stuff to think about and play with in your mind. So backstories are important, but hey, let me know. Get it?